If a given piece of entertainment isn't to our liking, we will vote with our wallet and give that money to someone who does give us what we want. We can afford to completely drop a game or a developer or even an entire form of media, like most of Western entertainment, at just the hint of the slightest SJW infection because there are thousands of other options for us out there to enjoy.
I thought that was a good way to start this video, with the YouTuber Raging Golden Eagle talking on what happens if and when an entertainment product is infested with, for example, political propaganda, instead of actual entertainment that originally appealed to a target audience. This is something like a second part, a sequel of a video I made a long time ago about the state of censorship of Senran Kagura, how it will affect the franchise and what we can do about it. I suggest watching this video I made before, link in the description below. Some people watched the video from last month and I'm impressed that around 300 page views in YouTube were gathered. While it's not an impressive number, I'm proud that my work went around in the first days. I am still holding the opinion that Senran Kagura will eventually die because no one else is talking about this, not even the normies or let's say geeks, nerds, otakus or even weebos that are already fans of the franchise. Someone pointed me out that many people are already buying more products from Senran Kagura, specifically after hearing the concerns of censorship leading to a more positive future for the franchise. But while I think that's good for the company, it doesn't change the fact that there are reconsiderations from Kenichi Tataki from changing the game or even the premise of the franchise. I may be speculating with this, but I think Takagi-san is not aware of the diabolical intentions these left-wing activists disguising themselves as the true gamers who don't actually play games. You know, the ones who demand everything to be less offensive, so in the end they don't play these games. Why listen to them if they don't play your games, game devs? Fuck, even Eurogamer admits that they can stick to video games and stop being political activists. Besides, one of the localizers of the Xyz, Lipschultz, was anti-censorship and anti-birthday company. He clearly stated that Xyz doesn't have any anti-censorship policy, so this may be another clear indication that Senran Kagura may capitulate to Sony's anti-creative demands. I think Xyz may become Koei Tecmo 2.0 in the future. So yeah. I'm still pessimistic about the state of censorship, that sadly it may become a precedent in order to censor other works with fanservice purposes. Too many censored fanservice works and it will become the norm. Oh, censoring games is normal, so deal with it. I'm afraid that Senran Kagura will get censored in the end no matter what. Change my mind. Let's suppose, for the rest of the video, that Senran Kagura 7 will most likely be censored by the totalitarians and there's nothing we can do about it. No one will talk about this and neither the fans will talk about this for fear for challenging their views. Yeah, I'm talking about the fans too. It doesn't matter if you just sign a petition in change.org and that's it. You gotta be way more active. Many people from several places in the social political spectrum like to talk about freedom. Oh yes, fantastic word, freedom. They like to talk about freedom, but they are afraid to challenge their views by not reading, watching or even discussing the news, even if it's related to their interests. And even the ones who say, I'm afraid of freedom of speech, but are very silent when it comes to censorship. Have you seen a normie reacting to the crime statistics and cultural differences between the Western society and the Middle East under the Islamic government? Have you seen a computer geek concerned with privacy reacting to Google and Facebook selling the users' private information? Have you seen an otaku or a weebo reacting to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid differences between the Japanese version and the English dubbed version in one certain scene of episode 12? Or better yet, have you seen a Star Wars or Ghostbusters fan reacting to their respective franchises falling apart due to embracing identity politics? They will stay in their precious safe spaces. They don't have the stomach to eat all the red pills that have been around for many years at this point. They don't want to challenge their own views. They stay in the matrix. I understand that you don't want to talk about censorship, but how many franchises are you going to let die before you kill your favorite game, your favorite movie, your favorite show, and you go, oh wow, where was everyone without defending my favorite franchise? Don't be surprised when that happens. If you love Senran Kagura and don't speak out about the censorship, don't cry because Senran Kagura died. Cry because you didn't do anything about it. Oh wow, that was a rant I wanted to drop from a very long time. Time to drink some green tea. I can't wait for the dislikes, by the way. So, let's say that Senran Kagura 7 definitely gets censored for subjective feelings for good. Okay, what's next? Well, to summarize my conclusion, don't buy the censored games. It's as simple as that. Like I said previously, if Marvelous stopped giving customers what they want, customers won't pay for their products anymore, leading to a bankruptcy. In other words, get woke, go broke. And what happens when you don't get what you want? That is, in this case, games with action with attractive girls and big-bossing books focusing on fan service? The solution: look for more alternatives that focus on fan service purposes. That's it. My personal recommendation: Idea Factory. Idea Factory is a game company that focuses on fan service and anime manga content. They stated that they don't want to censor their games as it's not true to the original art. Take a look on a few games like Monster Monkeys, Myro Chronicle, or even better, their main franchise Hyperdimension Neptunia. Hyperdimension Neptunia is basically the console war between Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft and Sega, but with girls that represent each game console. It's mainly a Japanese role-playing game by turns, like Final Fantasy VII or Golden Sun, and it's well received for the great plot it provides while delivering jokes related to the fourth wall. While I'm a big fan of Neptunia, I'm the wrong person to ask about. I'm not good at explaining Neptunia because there's so much to talk about it, and I'm afraid to give false information of a product entertainment to Neptunia newcomers. So I'll be linking a video that Yellow Super Nintendo made about it. He's much better than me at explaining the series. Link in the description below. Anyway, Neptunia has fanservice of two kinds, as far as I'm aware. One, the more fanservice that make you say Kawaii! And two, the sexy fanservice that make you stay in the bathroom more time than necessary. They even made an anime series of 13 episodes with an original storyline. In my opinion, it's a good anime adaptation, but don't expect a perfect wonder. A newcomer shouldn't watch the anime first unless they are more familiar with the franchise. Neptunia has a good reputation between otakus and gamers, but mainly otakus. Many of their 9 games or more received positive reviews in Steam. Feel free to check them out. The other game that I recommend is Monster Monkeys. It's a game focusing on cars with monster girls with attributes such as an attack, defense, special abilities, and the cars can be leveled up by a game mechanic called First Crash System. Translation: you touch the monster girl's body and she levels up with less clothing, guaranteeing fan service. It's easy to learn. There are over 100 monster girls to collect, and there's a story going on in a world where humans and monster girls coexist in the society. I wouldn't sell this game for the story, because it's heavily focused on fan service alone. Objectively, the only bad thing I see on this game is the lack of multiplayer in PC version, a feature that is presented in the PS Vita, but I don't see myself as a multiplayer person. I like more single player games, so I don't consider this a problem for myself. If you like card games and strategy games, it's worth playing this game. The last game I recommend here is Myro Chronicle. It contains half of the premise of Monster Monkeys. That is the way on how you capture monster girls, by touching their bodies, and they react to the climax, so they will join to your cause. It's not actually a strategy game based on cards, it's more a Japanese role-playing game. You travel in dungeons in first person, and you progress the story in a style of a visual novel while you fight enemies along with your monster girls. You play as Io, a young man who is a loser in the society and can't speak to women unless they're close friends with him, and has constant pervert thoughts. He's tasked to travel dangerous regions of the world, while monster girls are causing pain and destruction, and fix these problems somehow to save the world. I must confess that the story premise was enough for me to buy the game. So if you like more the RPG elements and traveling in dungeons, give this game a chance. These are my personal recommendations if you are looking for more games focusing on the same kind of fanservice that Senran Kagura focuses. Now that I think about it, Neptunia's fanservice doesn't have more weight than the story and gameplay as much as Senran Kagura's, but it's certainly ubiquitous, except for the game Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed, that is a Neptunia game with the same premise as Senran Kagura, but too much simplified. You can find more games with fanservice in Steam, like Calgon Double Peace, Nier Automata, and the classic Bayonetta. Yes, Bayonetta got a remastered version for PC in Steam, in case you were living under a rock for months. But let's not get away from the Senran Kagura censorship situation. Senran Kagura is not a famous franchise, but it's not a small franchise either, and it only got popular by news articles related to the attempts of censorship against it. But no matter how much popular it is or will be because of the regulation from puritanical forces, will make news articles talking about this subject. The problem with censorship is, once it's normalized, a precedent is already set and can be used as justification or casus belli to censor more works and drawing lines on what's acceptable and what's unacceptable. There will be more needs on censoring more works, and more decisions will become more arbitrary, leading to a more dystopian era of entertainment without entertainment. The more they censor, the more normalized censorship becomes. There is one specific and small line that the famous NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden said in 2013 about the global surveillance of people's personal lives, and while I'm perfectly aware that the line is not related to censorship on creative works in any second, the line has been always stuck with me. The greatest fear I have regarding the outcome for America of these disclosures is that nothing will change. I don't think staying in silence while the censorship happens everywhere it works will solve problems. It's like coming back to high school, and you see someone being physically assaulted by one or more bullies. If you are aware of the bullying but stay in silence about it, it's like you're showing thumbs up and saying, well done, keep going guys, because what you're doing is good, keep it up. If we do nothing, nothing will change, leading to a future full of nothing. And when that happens, what will you do if you live a life full of nothing?